It's been a little bit since we did a tutorial. Some would say too long, others would say please stop uploading, but here we are. Here are 6 ideas involving Christmas lights. We're gonna be making some photos that look a little bit like this. We need some supplies for today's video. Now these might be things you have kicking around in your attic, your parents or grandparents might have them, or you can just run out to a store like Target or Walmart or whatever and buy them. I mean, I filmed some of this B-roll on December 23rd, you know, before Christmas, and all the Christmas decorations are already on sale at Target, so there you go. We're gonna need some Christmas lights. I'm gonna use these solid white ones. I also grabbed a set of these bigger, classic looking, old school Christmas lights. We need some painter's tape, as well as some fishing line. I also grabbed some gum. That was unrelated though. We're also gonna grab an extension cord just in case the outlet's a little too far away from the lights. In terms of the camera, that's not really so important. You can use whatever you have laying around, but what is important is the lens. We want a lens with a fast aperture. I'm gonna be using this vintage Nikon lens adapted onto my Sony a7S. Vintage lenses are great because they're usually a little bit on the cheaper side. You can get a fast aperture, and a lot of them don't have the modern glass coatings, which makes lights really flare up and give a dreamy look. Alright, let's talk about balls. Bouquet balls, of course.
Wow.
Now I know extreme bouquet stuff isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I think shallow depth of field stuff is a ton of fun when used in moderation. It's kind of like drinking. You do a whole lot of it, then you post some stuff on Instagram, then you profoundly regret it the next day. The obvious first move when shooting with Christmas lights is to use them for beautiful bouquet balls in the background of your shots. Super easy. The first thing you're going to want to do is open your aperture to f1.8, f1.4, wherever the fastest it goes. Set it there. Then you gotta set up some lights, or maybe use a Christmas tree that's already set up in the room. After you're all done with that, position the Christmas lights behind your subject, get tight focus on your subject, and you're good to go. The bouquet balls in the background are just a beautiful touch to the image. Just keep in mind as you get into the more shallow end of things, focus does become a little bit trickier. A little tiny bit of movement can very easily knock a shot out of focus. One major tip here is to try and get some distance between your subject and the lights. If we look at these test shots I took here, you can see Natara when she's right next to the Christmas lights. There's very little bouquet. A few steps closer to the camera and we're getting some decent bouquet, but even closer we get a really nice tight shot on her and the lights have become balls. The reason that happens is because of the way depth of field works. When your focal point is really close to your lens, you'll be able to get some really great shallow depth of field stuff. On the flip side, the further away your subject is, the wider your depth of field will appear. Remember that time we used Christmas lights in the background of our shots? We were so young then. Let's flip the script and move them into the foreground now. If we put the Christmas lights in front of our subject and shoot through them, they become awesome bouquet orbs, and they also act as our key light. It's a 2-for-1 special.
Too ratchet.
You can hang them from a light stand or a C-stand with a Hollywood arm, then you could turn off the house lights, kick on the Christmas lights, maybe not in that order, and make some magic. If you don't have light stands or anything like that, don't worry, I got you, fam. Just friggin' tape them to the ceiling, you know? That's why we got the painter's tape. I recommended that so you don't ruin your grandma's ceiling, you know? Also, credit where credit's due, this hanging ceiling idea came from Irene Rudnick? Pronouncing names is not my strong suit, I'm sorry. But once you're set up, experiment with your lighting. Like I said before, you can keep the house lights off to get that dark background, or you can position someone by a window, get that natural light in there, and you'll have beautiful bouquet Christmas balls everywhere. And if you're not getting enough bouquet, you can always pull the lights closer into the camera. If you bring the lights right up against the lens, they'll get really out of focus. It's kind of similar to the Brandon Wolfel style stuff I talked about in the past.
Welcome to his channel.
Next up, we're gonna grab those classy looking old school glass Christmas lights.
You gotta screw them all in. Oh.
We're gonna give those to our subject and we're gonna kill the house lights again. These lights will be our subject's prop as well as their key light. Now keep in mind, a lot of the glass Christmas lights like these will get hot, so be careful not to burn yourself or others. And also, they're glass, so don't drop them on the floor like Natara did. Laugh a lot so she doesn't feel bad. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to read that part. If you're feeling really froggy, combine the hanging Christmas lights that we set up before with these colored light props and you'll be in for some really dreamy business. And if you put your subject behind the hanging lights while they're still holding the propped colored lights, man, you get some really, really crazy bouquet along with some really beautiful colors. Alright, for this next one, we're gonna venture out of the house. I know, I'm scared too. Whatever, 'tis the season to deal with overcrowding, but more importantly, to observe handsome decorations. Store displays, little town decorations, whatever the case may be, the world is the canvas upon which you, paint your... Just use public spaces for your photos. Conceptually, this is very similar to the first tip. We're just using those Christmas lights in our backgrounds, but the difference now is that we're not setting everything up ourselves. Rather, we're just kind of walking around, finding something cool, and shooting there. But please be respectful of private property. I don't need people saying, but Sweet Lou told me to go on your front lawn and shoot feet pics for my premium Snapchat. That was oddly specific. But anyway, you can get some really beautiful background bouquet, and it's already set up for you. All you gotta do is stand there, take some pictures, use the natural light. It's super easy, and your background is just waiting there for you. Anyway, up next, get some fishing line. I just happen to have some fishing line because I'm really into fishing. I don't fish. Or do most things that occur outside of the house. But what you want to do is cut a small length of fishing line, then tape it onto your lens across the glass. You can use the painter's tape again. The fishing line will cause lights to flare up. It's almost like an anamorphic look. If you pair that with a vintage lens like me, you can get some really beautiful effects in camera. It gives you a very dreamy look. And honestly, this one can be used all year round. From your film projects to weddings, give this one a shot. And last but not least, we gotta mention the crafty DIY bouquet shapes. This has been a tip that has been floating around the internet for years. If you cut out a shape on a piece of cardboard and put it in front of your lens, your bouquet will inherit that shape. So why does that work? Well, think about how aperture works. With more aperture blades, you get rounder bouquet balls. Some of the older lenses with fewer aperture blades produce really interesting bouquet. Like this one, for example, has hexagon-shaped bouquet balls. This is the Rickonon something or other. So when you cut out a shape in the cardboard and put it up against the lens, it's almost acting the same way as those aperture blades would and shaping the bouquet. So get creative. I'm not good at cutting things because I'm a lefty and also inept, but you might be good at it, so hey, you never know. And hey, if you're really having trouble cutting the cardboard, you can always get a clear piece of plastic and start sticking letters or shapes onto it. You can use that painter's tape again, and there you go. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me. I know I said that this was gonna go up before Christmas, but when I said before, I meant on Christmas because nothing's ever on schedule on this channel, but hey, that's why you love me, right? In all seriousness, guys, I hope you try these out and enjoy them. Tag me on Instagram, I'd love to see what you come up with. Mega huge thank you to Natara from Super Dankness for helping me shoot this video as well as modeling. Another huge thank you to my friend Tree, she modeled in the video as well. Her Instagram is below. She sells really cool t-shirts and hoodies with her art on it. You should definitely check her out. And of course, thank you to Rebecca for helping me film some of the B-roll for the video. And make sure you smash subscribe, share the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you want for Christmas or what you got for Christmas or what you gave for Christmas, whatever. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I don't know, tell me about your day. I care. That sounded so disingenuous. And anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I'm really pushing to have 2 more videos this year. I don't like our odds, if I'm being honest with you, but hey, you know, just strap in for the ride. Thanks for making 2019 such a dope year. Let's make 2020 even cooler. Alright guys, enjoy the holiday. I'll see you on my birthday. Bye!
Yeah!
Very nice. Think of this setup.
I think it's cool.
How?
Yeah.
It's actually stupid.
Oh god. Oh,
That's a really great out of context.
Like and subscribe to Sweet Lou Photography. The man.